Alright, we picked up this LG 5000 BTU small unit. We picked it up for free. It was given to us because it doesn't work. It's usually what happens. When you get something for free, it doesn't work. So we're going to try to make an attempt to diagnose it really quick and hope that it's something simple and not nothing really complicated. I'm going to plug here. It's a pretty dirty machine, but it's okay. I mean, it's free. I mean, what are you going to say? First thing I want to do is set this thing to off. I want to put everything off. I think it's power. It's thermostat, right? So you put that. I don't think that matters. Yeah. So turn the energy saver off. Turn that off. Plug it in a GFCI protected outlet, and we're going to try to turn it on and see if we get anything. Well, I guess this ain't going to be much of a video because that comes on, and maybe they're talking about the compressor doesn't work.
Yeah, I see.
You turn energy saver on. Maybe that is what they had it on because that switch was on. I'll be damned. Let me trip this. See if maybe this trips over time.
Yeah, sure the compressor kick on too.
It's kind of noisy, but let me see if the compressor comes on, right?
Yeah, sounds like a bearing.
Does sound a little loud on the loud side.
Yeah.
On the chafy side.
Dry bearing side.
Yeah, the motor. It's got that dry, chafy bearing sound.
Right now it just feels like a...
Let's see.
Test you.
I heard something click.
Yeah.
You got this thing set on the towel?
Yeah.
Alright. I'm waiting for a wasp nest to come flying out.
It's on max cool. There's a compressor.
It's vibrating.
I just heard it click on.
Yeah, I feel it. We'll find out.
See how cool this thing gets.
Oh, you think if we get some white lithium grease, we can spray it in that bearing and shut it up?
Maybe.
A little straw, a long straw.
We probably could.
Alright. Whoa, that's getting pretty cold.
What is this, R410?
Yeah, relay here on the side. R410, which tells me it's a couple of years old, right?
Old, yeah. Not old school,
maybe
but, you know.
5 years or more?
Yeah, probably.
5 years or older. So we know it's at least 5 years. What's the new Freon again?
I think R32, am I right?
I don't know.
On those videos. I think
R32?
It says R30 something. 32, maybe?
Maybe. The 410 is what? They're trying to phase that out too?
Yeah, that's
what the majority of things are right now.
Still, yeah.
Not what the new things are coming out that are sold, but the things that people already have is R410.
Right.
Yeah. Man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we got a free window unit that works.
Use them.
Just like that.
What do you think was wrong with it?
I don't know. Probably
when we got it for
user
free.
error.
When we got it free, where was it sitting?
Oh, in the back of somebody's truck.
Oh, was it in like a puddle or something, maybe?
It was damp. Maybe it was not covered up. Yeah, it wasn't covered up. So, you know, maybe keeping it for a couple of days and dry it out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that plug's sensitive to water, right?
I mean, I know where it came from. It came from a rental property.
Oh.
It was replaced by a newer unit on a rental property. And these were put all in the truck to haul off to get rid of.
They're pretty cool. It's on max cool.
Well, basically what we just did was make a video out of nothing.
Yeah. Free window
That
unit.
noise though has got to go. I don't know how long that would last.
So we take some of our white lithium grease, put it in that
Yeah.
bearing.
Yeah. That was pretty cold.
Yeah.
But it didn't have any time to build up any real condensation yet, so we're good. We don't have a bunch of water everywhere. All right. All right, so what we're gonna do is pull this thing apart, even though it works. I want to see if we can oil the bearing on the motor. I think it's a double shaft motor, a motor where the shaft goes all the way through, and then it's got a bearing on the front and a bearing on the rear. And you got an impeller or impeller on one end, and then a squirrel cage style blower on the other, blower wheel. So you got a blower wheel here and then a fan on the back side of that on the same motor spinning. So we'll see if we can get to that and oil it, quiet this thing down. See if that makes any difference. See if making this video worthwhile as opposed to just putting something on there that prove it's wrong or prove the person who gave it up wrong. And get some content, you know, some substance out of the video. So there we go. Covers off. Yeah, at least we can do is clean this thing, right? Look at this fender.
Could use a good cleanup.
Yeah, just very basic. What we got here? Look at that capacity. Touch that. Zip. Ouch. Look, here's what I was talking about. Eh? Big, like, impeller style wheel. It spins. It's a little on the warpy side, huh?
It is a bit on the warpy, but
it's plastic. That's why.
But it does spin freely.
Yeah, it's plastic. It's actually pretty quiet. Alright. I guess, what do I need to do next? I gotta get this cover off, right?
Right, we have to get the rear cover off.
Right, so what I'm gonna leave this bottom right here.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, you leave the tray in.
I'm gonna leave the tray, everything attached to the tray, see if I can remove this back case, right? Is it the best way to do it?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, the big units, you pull a couple of screws and the tray slides off.
Serviceable.
It comes out, right? It's serviceable. But these 5000s are not supposed to be serviceable. You know, you're not really supposed to be able to open them. Maybe that's the case with this, but we're going to figure it out. Should I pull these side skirts? Looks like there's silicone all over them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is there any screws that are hidden by that rail?
I can't tell. I mean, we can find out. Start pulling screws.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright, we got that loose. Alright, so we got to remove this screw. Look, if you look up here on the top of this rail is installed with these screws here, but this screw is notched out for this rail to fit in place so that you can remove that. I have a feeling it has something to do with holding down to the top of this control panel of the unit. So you're going to have to get to that screw by either removing the side skirt or getting it out of the way.
Yeah, the whole thing just rose up.
Alright, so there you go. See, that's trying to come off now. Let's see what else we got.
Probably should have one on that side too, huh?
Should, but you know, that's just an assumption.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It's only on the control panel side.
Alright.
There we go. There's the LG cover.
Pretty dirty.
Yeah, it's definitely that fan. You hear that? It's that bearing. Look. Come back here. Can you zoom into that bearing or to that shaft?
Yep.
See it? Like I was telling you, this is like an impeller here. That's for the back to blow the hot air out. And then there's this. If you look here, it's like kind of like almost like a squirrel cage design fan to blow up and out, just for the inside. And it's all done on the same shaft running through one motor. So let's see, let's turn it on and see if it gets louder. I can feel that here. It is definitely a dry bearing sound.
I can.
It's not a dry bearing, but it's almost like a I wonder if we can get to that and spray it with something. Quiet it down. Yeah, this is the back fan that hangs out the wall when your air conditioner's cooling. And it looks like that shaft with the bearing does have a little noise to it. So we're going to try oiling that. But also at the same time, look, there's a rubber grommet there, look. Okay, but also we have dirt down here, see? Now that dirt down there would probably keep this thing from, probably make noise, but also keep water in, making that slushy sound that builds up water and then blows condensation back into the house, through the vents. So we want to clean that out so that it would drain, and I'm going to do it dry. So I'm going to brush all this stuff, and then I'm going to blow it out with an air compressor. Some people don't have access to that, so you could do it different ways. You know, you can almost tackle this with a garden hose and spray it in there real good after using a mild cleaner like a soap, and then spray that out, and then let this thing dry before you plug it in, and it should be fine as long as you don't douse the inside of this control panel too bad. It still should work because this is a wet location unit. Whoever built it, the factory built it, knows that this stuff is going to receive a fair amount of moisture at all times. So it's probably water resistant, just not waterproof. If it's dunked under water, it probably would still work after it dried out a little while, right? So don't try it and then blame me. You know, do that at your own risk if you're going to go dump one underwater. But you know, these things have been sprayed out, and when I used to work in, you know, putting removing these units and putting new ones in the city where they didn't have central units, we had to do regular maintenance, you know, every couple of months. Take them out, clean them out, put them back in. But they weren't little units like this. They were huge, you know, big giant window units. And they had that kind of thing in New York, you know, a long time ago before central units were a big deal. And whatever old style big city you have with historical buildings. But anyway, the point is that we're going to try to oil this, and I just wanted to show you where a lot of the gunk gets clogged up at, but also is on this unit.
Right down there.
We're trying to make this this video worth posting. Okay, I mean, we didn't have a broken unit. It obviously worked. But what do we have here? We have some white lithium grease, and we have some PV blaster. Now, what do these two have in common? Well, the one thing I consider that they have in common is neither one of them have a graphite in it. Graphite is something that you don't really want to spray inside of an electrical motor or windings. They short things out. They short electrical things out, so you don't want to use that. So PV blaster seems just basically like a
transmission fluid?
No, a condensed diesel. Probably a diesel that went rancid. It seems like somebody probably discovered PV blaster, you know, by sitting diesel in a barrel for a couple of years and then it going bad and getting rancid and it unfreeze up bolts. So PV blaster is nothing but diesel. It doesn't really have any, I say diesel, it's probably just their own formula, penetrating oil. But it doesn't have any properties that are going to short out an electrical motor, right? So it's safe to use around electrical motors. Then there is WD-40 itself is horrible to use around electric motors because it has a graphite in it, but not the white lithium formula. White lithium grease doesn't have anything in it, as far as I'm concerned. So, you know, you have to read the cans carefully and then do it at your own risk. But I've always had good luck using a PV blaster around a motor and white lithium grease. Pretty basic. So that's what we're going to try to do. I'm going to try to pull his shield back and see if we can put a little grease in here and quieten this thing up. It might take a while to work this in there, but we'll try it. We're going to do PV blaster first because it's thin. Okay. I think we're able to get that in there. This is going to be a much harder task. I could always try the gravity feed. Turn it like this, then spray the shaft and let it run down into the motor. Okay. Sound like it would really aggravate the heck out of you. But if it was really hot outside and you had, this is all you had, I don't think you'd complain much. Or have much to complain about. Not for free, anyway. Okay. Let's see what happens. Plug this thing in. See
Go?
Yeah.
We're in. Yeah.
Alright, unplug it. Always unplug these things when you're working on them like this. It's kind of crazy. You don't want to get zapped. Alright, so we've tilted it forward and we tilted it back, and we put PB blaster and white lithium grease on the shaft and try to get it to slide down into the bearings in the motor, which is right here and right there, front and the back of the motor. And it's still making you know, a metal on metal sound, like a dry bearing noise, and it's pretty loud. So I'm guessing maybe this is why they maybe have retired this unit. If it was in a bedroom or something, and you know, someone, a tenant or the owner of the house or whatever, or apartment, complained from the noise, and that would make someone give up a window unit because of the noise. So maybe that's what they meant by broken or didn't work, because it was noisy. So this is what it sounds like. We had it running, testing it back and forth a little bit, but that's about how loud it is. And believe it or not, it's not too bad if this is outside, right? Because we got it all inside. So what we're going to do is take this thing outside and plug it in and let it run for a while by itself, unattended. Just let it run without the cover on or anything, out in the open, and see if some of our sprays work themselves down the shaft and into the bearing on its own, and shut this thing up. And then we'll come back and see if it got quieter and acceptable. All right, we cleaned it up outside a little bit and tried to blow it out, and it didn't work too well, so we hosed it out, and it worked pretty good. We hosed through the fins and all back here, and a little bit, you know, it's not as clean as it should be, but it's a lot cleaner than it was. And it doesn't look like there's any instructions in the pan there to drain. Okay, the conclusion is, after running it outside for a while, it doesn't stop or anything, and it gets cold as it should. It got a little quieter, maybe about 20%, maybe even 30% quieter than it was. So our conclusion is, because this is a 5,000 BTU, and it's pretty much the bottom of the barrel for AC units, we're going to box it up and use it as a backup. We're going to let the time of running the motor and the bearing and all that stuff, I think it'll last for months and months, if necessary, if we need it that long. So we're going to box it up and use it for emergencies, and we're going to write on the box exactly approximately how old it is, what we think is wrong or compromised in any way, how long we think we'll get out of it, when it was tested, and how long to expect that it can be used for in an emergency or in general. But as of right now, I think it's okay. And if we need something fancy, we'll go get a new one. It was a lot louder than that, believe me.
It certainly runs cleaner.
a lot louder than that. And after it runs a little bit, it gets a little bit quieter. It's weird.
The air smells cleaner too.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's so much nicotine right here in the front. I think it's just got a, you know, a little bit more. It's not like we can replace this motor easily, you know.
Or open it and service it.
Well, I don't think we can really service it. It looks like a sealed unit to me. It doesn't look like you can open. And most of these are disposable. And you probably could replace the motor for a decent price, you know, and the labor to go through it. We could just for being in here, go ahead and take a picture of this and copy this down, and see if we can find this motor on eBay or any other appliance warehouse site. I have a parts appliance account. We'll go in there and we'll see if we can find that. Right?
Yeah,
take a picture for me. Can you?
After the video, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's put this thing back together. We popped the side skirts off, and we're going to clean those up as best we can, and then put them back on. And I think we're going to be done.
Nice and shiny.
Yep. All right. All right. So just for the heck of it, what we did was we looked up the motor itself, which looks like this. Go down to the picture here. Here's another one being sold for $100. See? This is what the motor looks like. LG wants like 90 bucks. Somebody else up here wants 60 bucks. That's the cheapest we found so far. Now, you know this window unit's a 5,000 BTU LG, and there's nothing special about it. It's just got a basic manual thermostat, no digital, nothing. It's several years old, at least 5 or over 5 years old, probably 10 realistically. Maybe 7 to 10 years old, I'm guessing. Back in its heyday, it was probably $99 at local Home Depot or somewhere else. We know that Walmart charges for their newer Media, which they almost look like an LG type of build. Those are $150 for the whole unit. So, like I said, it wouldn't be worth to put in 60 bucks plus shipping, $14.90 shipping. For the cheapest motor we can find and order, and then put it in to have a 5,000 BTU window unit that we can pay 150 bucks right now for and get. So we're going to stick it aside and use it as an emergency backup window unit in case we need it. And I think that's probably the best thing that we could have done. So did we strike out? No, not really. This is what we got. All right, thank y'all for watching.